Hey, this GK Irish at the Camp Kennerk podcast. This is a special edition of a happy camper that has decided that he's brave enough to stand up and shout, I'm a believer of Camp Kennerk. So, man, I tell you what, we got a lot to talk about, but the crazy thing is that he's a friend of Doug the neighbors, and that scares me. That scares me, but that's okay. We're all big kids around here. So, Doug the neighbor, why don't you introduce your friend and tell us what's going on?
Well, TK, good seeing you, and it's always great seeing you. And yes, we do have a happy camper, our 15th happy camper that we have interviewed for the Camp Kennerk podcast. And he's more than a friend, he is a neighbor. He lives 2 blocks from me.
How how'd that happen, Elliot? Did you lose a bet?
Oh no, Doug runs a great neighborhood over there, and thank y'all for having me on. I'm excited to be here with y'all.
Okay, so let me finish the introduction here. This gentleman's name is Elliot Bell, and you can tell he hasn't started shaving yet, and he's got all of his hair. So we're dealing with, and his teeth are still white. So we're dealing with a pretty young guy, and looks like he's got some office thing there. So he has a job. So we're talking about a winner. So Camp Kennerk podcast, Elliot Bell. Elliot, how you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank y'all so much for having me on. I'm a big fan of what y'all do.
Yeah, well, thank you very much. Now, you and I met in a very odd way. Besides being a neighbor, do you have a little story that how you even heard about me? That sort of stuff.
I was a fan of yours on Instagram, but then I later found out that we were also fraternity brothers, or
We're
SAEs.
fraternity brothers. Yes, we are. We are SAE, Sigma Alpha Epsilon fraternity brothers. And I'd always like to say that I graduated the same year he did, but he knows I'm lying, so that sort of stuff. But Elliot's being very modest at how we met. A chance situation at the pack mail. A woman was struggling with her packages. I was being a gentleman, and she was on the phone while she's juggling packages, and I was helping her. And next thing I know, that the woman was talking to Elliot's mother on the phone, and she said, "Well, I know Doug the neighbor." I go, well, oh, well, who is this? In the neighborhood. No, I'm Charlie Hanna, mom. And there we go. And, or no, was it Charlie Hanna's mom? No, it was your mom. It was
It was my mom
your mom
on the
that was
phone.
on the phone. And we're trying to place, well, where does your son live? That sort of stuff. So that's how I met Elliot, and his roommate is a fraternity brother, Charlie Hanna. So that's how we met.
See, you never can tell what's going to happen when you're out there in public, Douglas. I've warned you countless times to behave yourself, keep your hands in your pocket, and just keep walking with your head down. But no, oh, Dougie boy can't do that.
And then yesterday, I was out flipper walking, for the flipper top apostle trot flipper walking. And then Elliot was on the street, and we made a quick video for his parents. So there you go.
I'm sure your parents really appreciate to know that you're in somewhat of a safe environment if Doug the neighbor's involved.
That or a
Oh,
peace bond.
absolutely. They're big fans of Doug the neighbor. Who's not?
My
Well,
ego.
Doug, that means you got three now.
That's right. All right. Well, it's not about us and my hair. It's all about Elliot, and we're glad to have him here. And like I said, Elliot, this is our 15th Happy Camper interview, and I'd like to ask you a few questions to warm up. Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, first off, where'd you go to high school? Riveting questions. Where'd you go to high school?
I went to a college prep school in Asheville, North Carolina called Christ School.
Christ School in Asheville, North Carolina. Okay. And what were they? The Lions, Tigers, Bears?
We were the Greenies. It was a very old school, and in 1911 we won a state championship in baseball. And the team used to wear hand-me-down jerseys, a bunch of different colors. And the winner of the state championship got new green jerseys. So the newspaper called the baseball team the Greenies. Our rival school was the Blues. So they had blue jerseys, and we kept it going for 120 years.
He's good at math too, TK. You
Yeah,
never-
boy, I was going like this. 1, 2, 3, 4.
reaching for my calculator. Oh my God. So the greenies, you're the greenies. The greens or the greenies?
Greenies.
Greenies. I love that. Now, you went there for high school, and then were you in any sports while you were in high school?
I played almost every sport I could up there. I did football, lacrosse, baseball, and then we also had a lot of programs what you could do instead of sports. So I was on the snowboarding team. I did fly fishing for a couple seasons. I did lots of things up there. We were on 500 acres of woods in the mountains outside of Asheville. So there's a lot of stuff for a young man to get into out there.
Oh, that's great. And you just mentioned some magic words because TK's brother is a fly fishing extraordinaire up there in where Montana, Wyoming, something like that, TK?
Wyoming, up there, land of Riverton, Wyoming, just south of the Tetons.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah. So that's very interesting, Elliot, the fly fishing. When was the last time you went fly fishing?
Last summer. I spent too long.
Look at it
I'd
this
love
way.
to get back on the river.
Yeah. TK, when are you going fly fishing?
I'm gonna go in July.
On July. Oh, that's great. That's great. Okay. Now, where did you go to college, Elliot?
I went to the University of Texas in Austin.
Go Horns. Yes, that's great. Now, you're living there in Asheville, North Carolina. Why did you choose Austin, University of Texas? I mean, you're just down up the road there from North Carolina State, Duke, and Virginia, Kentucky. Why the University of Texas at Austin?
I was really interested in the music business, and the music in Austin really drew me down there. I started trying to work in the music industry when I was 14, and always thought I was going to go to school in Nashville at Belmont or
Yeah.
somewhere like UGA with a really good music business program. I had two stepsisters that were already at University of Texas, and they were having a fun time in Austin, going to a bunch of concerts all the time. Kind of wanted to join them. Austin's a great town for music, and I got really lucky with an awesome job up here, and I manage a band now for a great company called C3 here in Austin. And so I'm very glad that I decided to get out of North Carolina and come down here. I don't really have any plans on leaving.
Oh, okay. Well, that's beautiful. Now, you said music. Do you play a guitar, drums, trumpet? Do you play any instruments?
I do not play anything, but I'm a big listener, and I love to find new bands and to kind of watch small bands become big bands and do what I
Well,
can to help them out.
okay. Well, you said you're a big listener. Well, I'm a big put the quarter in the jukebox guy. I can do that, So that's how old I am because jukebox is now $1, $1.50, So, but I'm big on that. So, and that's very interesting. Now, when did you graduate college?
I graduated college in 2024.
Oh, so 2 years ago now. This is what, May, so I guess school's out real soon, right?
Yep.
And you have a job. What's the name of the company that you work for, Elliot?
I work for the management company of C3 Presents. So it's a company called C3 Management.
Okay, C3 Management, and they're based here in Austin?
We are.
Now, how many bands would they manage?
The company as a whole manages, check the list. We manage around 20 bands. And my band's called the Drop Tines.
And your band is called what was that name again?
The Drop Tines. It's like an abnormal growth on a white-tailed deer. Normally their horns stick up, but a drop tine is whenever one sticks down like that. This is the logo.
Oh, well, that deer's a little busy in that logo there. Glad this is an adult show. Okay, so how did you get the job? I mean, you knocked on the door and said, "I want to manage a band." Is that what you did?
I always wanted to do this job called A&R for a record label growing up. I discovered what that job was when I was in sixth grade. I had a family friend that was on The Voice, and I went and visited her in Nashville, and she told me about these people that go to shows and advise record labels and management companies, lawyers. They tell them who's up and coming, who's going to be the next big thing. And I thought that was the coolest job in the world, just to get paid to go to concerts. And so I did pretty much all I could to try and get to Nashville. I worked at a venue in Little Rock, where my dad lives in Little Rock, Arkansas. My mom lives in Dallas, so I'd spend my summers in Arkansas. Started working at a venue when I was 16, cleaning out green rooms and packing and unpacking vans for all the touring acts that would come in. And then in high school, I started writing for a music blog, and I was reaching out to a bunch of different companies in Nashville trying to get an internship. And there's a lot of competition in Nashville with the Belmont kids, the Vandy kids. So I wasn't able to get one until after I graduated from high school. And then 5 days after I graduated, I moved to Nashville, worked on Music Row. It was a great summer, and I made a lot of great connections and found a lot of really good talent, I thought. Came back, started freshman year at UT, the fall of 2020. So that was kind of a interesting time to be down here. And so I went back to Nashville summer after my freshman year, worked the same job on Music Row, and kind of decided that summer that I like doing it in Austin a lot better than I do in Nashville. So whenever I got back to start my junior year, I was looking around at different companies in Austin, and C3 was definitely the top dog. Very happy to have ended up here.
And the draw here in Austin, of course, is barbecue and Mexican food, cold beer.
Yeah, the weather's not bad. The lake's great. The girls are great. There's a lot of good things about Austin.
Right. Now, it's a small world, Elliot, since you do live 2 blocks away from me. We have a young gal. She's probably junior in high school. Her name is EJ, and she's Dr. Christie's daughter. No, she's not the daughter, but neighbor or something like that. She is 14, 15 years old. She's junior in high school, and she is already writing and playing music. I've got to connect you two. Every time I see her, I go, "You're the next Taylor Swift." I said, "Do you write your own stuff?" Oh, she said, "Oh, yeah, yeah." "Do you play your own stuff?" "Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah." And she's a real cutie. Her name's EJ. I need to connect you two, because then that's what you do, A&R, right?
Absolutely. I'd love to hear some of her stuff.
Yes, so would I. I mean, I've heard one song. I think she's on DistroKid or something. She's just a real charmer, and you can see that the growth where she's going to go. Do you write your own stuff? Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Do you play your own stuff? Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Do you like performing? Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. So the elements that need to be a performer. So I'll do my best to get you hooked up with EJ. That's all I know about.
Sweet. It's awesome.
Okay, glad to help out. Now, the band that you manage, what does that entail? I mean, what sort of music they do?
It's kind of like a Texas Southern rock. It's very hard to compare it to another band, which I think is great. We're kind of doing our own thing. But the people that like my band also like Springsteen, or Allman Brothers, Leonard Skinner, that kind of stuff.
Okay, all right. Now, so country, if we call them country, is that kind of an okay label, or we need to go someplace else? Country
I
rock?
like I like to say that I manage a rock band just because I think it sounds cooler. But it's definitely country leaning.
Okay, and are they based here in Austin?
They are. They all live in Austin.
They all live now. How many in the band?
It's a 4-piece band.
4-piece band, the old original four-piece combo. Now that's great. And what are the names of these people that you manage? And then we'll get into what does it entail to be a manager.
We've got Connor Arthur. He's the front man. lead singer, rhythm guitar, songwriter, the brains of the entire operation musically. Tony Rincon is our steel guitar player, also plays a bit of lead guitar, jumps back and forth. Connor is from Concan, Texas, just outside of Uvalde, South Texas. So a lot of our songs kind of have that South Texas vernacular and mindset to them. Tony is an incredible steel guitar player, guitar player. He can play anything. He's from a small town in Oklahoma. Um, and he went to Berkeley. He's just the best. And our bass player is named Dylan Sampson. He's from Marietta, Oklahoma. He is keeps it held down over there on the bass line, and he also does his fair share of songwriting. Great bus driver. We travel in an old converted school bus that sleeps. It's got 6 bunks in there, um, but it's super fun. Our drummer is named Johnny Sheets. Johnny Sheets keeps the beats, and he is from a small town in Louisiana, kind of outside of Baton Rouge.
Okay.
That's 4 piece.
That's the 4 piece. Now, very interesting. Did you walk into a bar and hear them and say, "This is it"? Is that how it happens for you when dealing with these people?
That's definitely how it happens sometimes. This band in particular, I saw them for the first time my junior year. They played a friend of mine's ranch. They just played a party out there, and I became kind of obsessed with them and started going to their shows. And they already had a manager at the time. And then a few months later, I kept going to shows, kept trying to become friends with them, and they weren't really giving me the time of day. They didn't want to hang out with me because I was kind of too much of a fanboy at the beginning. But then I started working. I kept my internships at C3. I worked here in the summer of 22 and 23. But then my senior year, which would have been 2024, I started working for Warner Records as a talent scout out of their Nashville office while still working part time for the management company here. So I kind of had 2 part-time jobs and then was also trying to go to school a little bit. But whenever I was working for the record label out of Nashville, I was just obsessed with job times, and I was really spent about 8 months trying to convince Warner to sign them to a record deal. And when the time finally came, they came up to Nashville and met everybody on the team up there. We went out to a bowling alley there. The band loves to bowl, and the lead singer had just gotten a new print of this vintage looking bowling alley. And he put it above his piano like 2 days before he came to Nashville. And it's kind of weird because we ended up at this bowling alley and it was the exact same one from the print. And they said that they didn't really like their manager at the time. They didn't really like the record label, but they do like me. And so they said that they would fire their manager if I could convince the owner of my company to let me sign them at C3. And I took one of the founders out to go see a show. He was as into it as I am, which is a lot. And so we signed them together. I quit my job at the record label. I went full time at C3 in October of 24. And so now it's just been smooth sailing for the most part since then.
Great story there, Elliot, and how you met him, and then through personal persistence and admiring their group and being a fanboy. That's really great. Now, being a manager, I mean, you don't go get their laundry. Do you are you the roadie, or do you have to have a roadie, or everyone handles their own equipment? What sort of function? Do you go get them gigs? Where did they last play? Did you get that gig? Where's their next play? Where did they play next? Did you get that play?
I wear a lot of different hats. Luckily, I don't always have to do the laundry, but if I need to, then they'll call me. Uh, Mainly being a manager is kind of like overseeing the whole operation and planning. I don't specifically book the shows. We have an agent that books all the shows. And so the agent will send some feelers out. If we get an offer from a music festival in Idaho, we're going to take it because the festivals are generally good money. And so then our agent's job is to kind of, get us from Austin to Idaho and pick up shows in between. So we do a lot of that. And then we do a lot of supporting slots on bigger tours. Last summer we went out with this band called Whiskey Myers, and
Okay.
did 12 shows with them at big amphitheaters across the southeast.
Hmm.
And this summer we're doing a big headline tour all across the U.S. Our last show we did was at Central Machine Works here in Austin. That was
Okay.
a great one. Played that one with Coleman Jennings, another awesome Austin band. I went to college with him as well. So that was a double two for show we did last weekend. Our
Hmm.
next show we've got is a big one next Friday at the Stable Hall in San Antonio. So very
Okay.
excited to get there. I've heard that venue's awesome. But this summer we're really going all over. We're going to Alabama, Georgia, North Carolina, all the way up to Idaho, Colorado, Montana, Wyoming, Kentucky, Ohio. Um,
Wow, that's all over the US. Boy, there
yeah,
you go. That's terrific. And my first thought is the great movie Almost Famous.
that's my favorite movie of all time. And a lot of times I feel like the main character.
Yeah, the main character. Yeah. I want to go home. No, you are home. You are home. You're in your world, Elliot, and this is beautiful. Now, uh, do they have this group? Do they have any albums out there?
We just recently put out our second album last month. It's called Drought Flower at Arlen Studios here in Austin, a legendary spot. And it's our first album with a record label. We signed Big Loud Texas, which is one of the first people to, or Big Loud is a company in Nashville, and they opened up a Texas office. And we were very lucky to have our management, our record label, our agent lives in Austin. And so I think it's really cool that our band is all in Austin. So we're doing some cool stuff. We just played the Grand Ole Opry a couple weeks ago.
The
We played
Grand
the
Ole Opry in Nashville?
Yep, we made our debut 3 weeks ago. It was a very special time for everybody. Big check off the bucket list.
Oh, yes. Yeah, the Opry. Oh, that's great. That's great. Now, so at the end of this podcast, if you would send us a picture of the cover of the current album, we can have Kevin, our magnificent computer dude, post it on this podcast.
That'd be great. I
So
could
we'll
absolutely do
talk
that.
about that at the end of this podcast. Now, this is absolutely great. Now, to tout my own stuff. I do write songs. I do write country western music for a band called Huddy Ward and the Pecos Boys, and I think you've heard a couple of my songs. So we'll make a deal. You're a manager. We'll make a deal, and we'll get your band to play my music, so I can start getting some of those royalties. So, since I'm an old retired goat. Oh, there you
I,
go.
I think that's a great idea.
TK's got an opinion there. Now, I also want to brag a little bit. I do like to write, and I wrote a short story about a mythical band here in Austin, Texas, called Christy Cool and the Shakers. It's just a short story, and I should get a copy over to you so you can put it on your shelf. But it's
I would
called
love to read it.
Christy Cool and the Shakers. It's right over here on my shelf, and I'll get you a copy, and you can put it on your shelf. And it's just a story of a mythical Austin band. Okay, all
That
right.
sounds right up my alley.
There you go. Now you just answered one question ahead of what I was going to ask. Trips. You're busy all summer. You're going to be gone all summer. Okay.
I'm not going to be out with them as this summer as much as I was last summer. Last summer we didn't have a tour manager, and so I'm very lucky that we have one now who's also like advancing the shows, so telling the band exactly where we need to be at what time, making sure everything stays on schedule. The tour manager is also a photographer, videographer, but last summer it was really just me and a photographer out there, and the photographer was a little loopy, and so I was out on the road for 3 months or almost 3 months last summer. But
Okay.
I'm gonna do a little bit, spend a little bit more time in Austin. Hopefully, get down to Port A for July 4th. That's also
Uh-huh.
my birthday, so I'm really looking forward to the 250th anniversary and my 25th anniversary.
Oh, I love it. Your 25th birthday.
Yep.
TK, I told you it was young. You remember? Can you even remember when we were 25?
Well, Douglas, I was always taught that if you remember your age at 25 and 30, you really didn't participate in life. So I'm going to leave it up to the galaxy to decide whether or not I remember that part of my life.
Yeah. Well, a few things are fuzzy. All I remember is my 25th birthday was in San Sebastian, Spain, at the Hotel London with a group of guys from Dallas, on a European tour, So, but that's what happened on my 25th birthday. So, Elliot, when you celebrate your 25th, if you're in town, I'd love to be there and help you celebrate. But with modern technology, you can be the manager here in Austin while your band is scattered across the United States. But so, but I wanted to ask you something, a question closer to home. What are your sports teams? You're from North Carolina, family in Arkansas, family in Texas. You're traveling. What's your baseball team?
I would say the Rangers because
Texas
my mom
Rangers.
was in Dallas, and the Rangers were pretty good whenever I was growing up. But I really like Longhorns baseball. That's kind of my favorite. Excited to be hosting a regional and be
Yeah,
out there at the dish.
yeah. I think their first game's tomorrow. Believe so tomorrow. Yeah, today? No, maybe today, Thursday. Yeah. So yeah, learning that. Now, this has been beautiful, Elliot, and really appreciate your time and effort to tell us about music management and about yourself. TK's got a couple of questions here. Go ahead, TK.
Well, Elliot, you're a very impressive young man, much more impressive than Doug. So I hope you understand the level of proprietary that takes. So congratulations. And
Thank you.
I don't know if you ever saw the Camp Kennerk logo, but we have popcorn kernels in there.
Hmm.
And it all goes back to when we started this. I grew up on a farm in Indiana where we raised popcorn. So I've always want to ask people, first of all, do you pop popcorn?
I do, but I haven't had a microwave in about 3 years. It's not because I'm like scared of it or anything, but some people are nowadays. I just had the houses that I've lived in haven't had microwaves. So me and my roommate Charlie, we get the Jiffy Pop and we pop it on the stove.
Well, that's funny because that's the type of popcorn that we used to grow in Indiana for that company.
Small world. That's awesome.
Small world. So you know how to use the stovetop. That was my next question. I get disheartened when people say, "Yeah, I pop popcorn in the microwave." That is a Al Qaeda plot. Saying I pop popcorn. You got to do it in the stovetop. You got to shake it a little bit. Is that right?
Absolutely. It's so much more fun that way.
That's right. Now, just a little word of wisdom. Don't take the lid off the pot when it's popping. Think you can
That's
remember
great
that? I
advice.
mean, you're a
Thank you.
smart kid, but sometimes you got your buddies over there and things, and somebody goes, "What are you cooking?" They lift it up, and I'll leave it up to your imagination to tell you what happens next.
I'm gonna keep the lid on for sure.
That's the reason why that phrase "keep a lid on it" came about. You know, but in today's world, you've had some great strides, and it's one of those deals where the harder you work, the luckier you get. Um, so, if you were to be a mentor to some people, junior high, high school, there's a lot of opportunities to say, don't do this or do that, or some words of wisdom. What would you contemplate on telling them?
Um, I would start by saying like never lose your drive and ambition and kind of respect for music, especially live music and concerts. I always loved going to concerts and I'm lucky because I see some people that have worked in the music industry for a long time who kind of lose their excitement. You get a little jaded, and all of this kind of becomes normal to a lot of people. But I think that it's really important to remind yourself, like look around and think about how cool it is to just walk into a venue through the back door and be call yourself friends with the people on stage. I just can't ever lose sight that you're living the dream. Some days it's not as fun as other days, but you're doing something that a lot of people wish that they were.
So follow your passion.
Absolutely.
Well,
Always.
great, great. Well, Doug, the
Absolutely
neighbor.
beautiful there, Elliot. Beautiful, wise words for a younger generation at how you got ahead in a business that you enjoy and are working hard at it. And we only wish the best for you. If your group plays my music, there you go. So, but we really wish the best for you. And we have a small gift for you. I saw you on the street the other day. Doug the Neighbor does an annual charity called the Top of Possum Trot Flipper Walk, where we walk in flippers up Possum Trot. TK and his boys were here. Oh, you've already got one of the flip off Big C flippers. Oh my
I got
gosh.
the flipper.
Right there. Flip off
Keep
Big
the horns up, Doug.
Keep the horns up. He's
There you
the
go.
management. It's a charity we do, and we really appreciate what you have done here. TK, Elliot Bell, thank you very much. TK, that's what I got. Play ball. What do you got, Elliot?
Hook 'em. Listen to the
Ergo
drop
Bra.
sides.